Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Marketing Mondays. My name is Ira Bowman. I am your host, and today I'm excited to talk to you about how to increase your website traffic. Look, a lot of people want more website visitors, but most people, they really just have no idea how to do it. So, as my wife joins the fray from wherever she is, I know she was off with my son doing something, getting him set up for school. I'm going to be talking about that today. First and foremost, I have a new writer on staff at Bowman Digital Media. In fact, I have a couple that I've brought on. One of them I tasked with writing an article on this topic because it is something that a lot of people want to see. So we're going to be covering that in depth. So if you are not familiar with Bowman Digital Media, I want you to get familiar with it. I'm going to share my screen and show you. We're going to be talking about this article today, common SEO terms, because look, at the beginning of the day, if you want to really improve your search engine optimization, your domain authority, and get more website traffic, you need to understand the terms. Okay, so you won't have to memorize them. You just have to understand what they mean and how everything works together to get people to flow into your website. Now, you can do it a couple different ways. We can pay. Yes, you can spend money and increase website traffic, but you don't have to, but you can. You can also learn how to do things organically, or another way of saying that is free, right? So that's my favorite way to do things, the free way. I learned how to do this in full disclosure because I launched a website back in 2018 called Project Help You Grow, and I self-funded. I didn't have any income coming in. It's a philanthropy website. Now, it's not officially a 501c, so I don't qualify for a lot of programs and grants and things like that. So I just self-fund. I've always done it since we launched. I've never charged anybody a penny. But because of that, I needed to figure out how to, get people to see my website. And then once they knew about it, come visit it, right? So how do I do that? Well, we'll go into that today in depth. Now, thank you very much. Look, the whole goal here is to inform you, to teach you some things that you can do. So if you want to learn, put your thinking caps on. We're going to be here for about an hour. Full disclosure, you can ask me anything you want at any time. You don't have to wait for me to get to it to ask the question. I will always try my best to answer anybody's questions. So if you are ready with a question in the gate, you've already got a question, fire away. This is fun, okay? So let me bring up the article. The article is called Common SEO Terms. Now, SEO, if you're not familiar with that, I know people throw out acronyms all the time and are like, what does that mean? And you don't want to ask because you don't want to feel like a fool, right? You should already know it. That's kind of like most people think, well, I should probably already know that, and I don't want to seem stupid. So the only stupid question today is the one that you don't ask that you need answered, okay? I will not make you feel stupid. At least I will try my best not to make anybody feel stupid, because frankly, I'm stupid. So you don't have to worry about that. All right, so SEO stands for Search Engine optimization. Think of Google. When you think of search engine, why? Because it's the number one search engine in the whole world, and it's not even close. The second search engine in the whole wide world is YouTube, which is owned by Google. So if you think Google, you basically got the idea for search engines. But basically, inside of a search engine, how are you, like when someone types for something, let's say like, who has the best white glasses in the entire world? If you were to search that, what would come up? Well, I would want Ira to come up because I think my white glasses are the best, right? But the search engines have to create these formulas that they call algorithms. And these algorithms are super important because if you learn the algorithms and you figure out how they work, then you can figure out how to boost yourself up. Now, the first thing I'm going to tell you is most algorithms, not all algorithms, most algorithms are now run by AI. And you will not crack them because they are constantly changing. They're not static. And there's not a uniform algorithm anymore for most things. Most things, there's variations of it. And so with the constant changing, the dynamic state, it's like trying to find water on the top of the ocean. I was just out on the ocean the other day. I'm going to switch views real quick. I was just out on the ocean the other day with my boys. My wife bought me, for Father's Day, a trip, deep sea fishing, three-quarter day, which turned into a full day, frankly. We're there on the boat from 6:30 a.m. until 7:15 p.m. So it was a full day of fishing at sea. One of the things that I noticed, because like I'm into photography, I'm into graphics, I'm into images, okay? So there was a couple moments where I was just trying to be like a little bit reflective and have a moment because it was a day away from the computer, which I don't get a lot of. But I was looking at the ocean, and one of the things that I was looking at is just how much it moves and the ripples and the currents and all that stuff. And if you look out across it, like no two sections are the same, and it's not even the same for very long. And that's kind of how algorithms are. They're constantly being adjusted, and where you are determines what you see or what you don't see, but everything is affected by the algorithms, okay? So there are a couple of things that you can pinpoint, like the horizon. One thing for SEO, for search engine, for algorithms, that's like a horizon. Probably the most basic and important thing to know is this term called keywords. Now, I'm glad that my new teammate Abdul, and he's here in the comments, so connect with this guy. Good writer. He's writing blogs for me for lots of my clients, which is awesome, and I appreciate it. And I like this blog that he wrote, so I put it on my site. I housed it on my site, okay? Common SEO terms that all beginners must know. Now, I'm going to take this link, and I'm going to post this here in the comments. Find the blog here, okay? So you guys can find it no matter where you are. And just in full disclosure, we are live on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. So no matter where you are, go ahead and click on that link, and you can find the source material for what we're going to be talking about today, probably most of the day. Because again, if you don't know these terms, it's really hard to accomplish any of the results. You have to understand how the components work. We're going to talk about it. It's like a giant Rubik's Cube. There's more to it than just this. This is really it's like the foundational pieces in this article. But if you can get this and grasp this and use this as a resource guide, it's really pretty good. And then we also have a couple other sources that I made sure that he included in the website piece. We've got Google, of course, Moz, and SEMrush. Look, between this article, Google, Moz, and SEMrush, you can learn so much that your head will hurt, your head will spin, and your SEO score should go through the roof because you'll be learning good stuff. Now, I will caution you, there's a lot of garbage out there. A lot of lazy writing, a lot of bad information. So be careful what you trust. That's why I want to tell people about Moz and SEMrush, because those are sources that I use. Neil Patel's another one that I use. I read his blogs a lot. There's a lot of smart people who are really good at this. Find those people and follow those people. Don't just listen to what people say. Like, look for results that validate that what they say is true. That'll help you in just about everything, right? Like, there's so many gurus out there who don't know how to tie their own shoelaces. I'm just being honest. People, there's still people out there doing the fake it till you make it garbage. That is not what we want. What we want are people who have actually done it, who can verify that they've done it, and then explain how they did it. But also, another thing to keep in mind, when you start looking up articles, don't only consider the source, which is important. Definitely consider the source. Look at the date. Another thing that people mistake, just right out of the gate, they'll pull up, something on search engine optimization that's really smart, technically sound, but it was written in 2018 or 2013. That's useless at this point. The world has changed a lot, okay? So in my world, in the world of generating digital audience, generating eyeballs, getting people to visit your websites, building your social media empires, that stuff has a shelf life. Depends a little bit. But most stuff, if it's 6 months old to a year old, it's still probably okay, but you're not on the leading edge. So anything older than 6 months, it's kind of like drinking sour milk. You could do it. I wouldn't recommend it. Okay? So look for stuff that's fresh. Verify the source, make sure they actually know what they're talking about, and then check the dates. If you do those things, again, that'll give you a solid foundation to get going on solid footing so that when you're putting in the time to write your blogs, to build your backlinks, to engage on social media, to make Google ads or Facebook or LinkedIn or whatever, right? There's even composing your emails, your signatures. Look, we're going to talk about it. There's really 6 different ways for you to generate website traffic, not addressed in my article. This one, I've addressed it in previous articles. So go through the blogs on Bowman Digital Media. You'll find enough information. You don't have to go anywhere else, honestly. You could just spend all day on Bowman Digital Media, and you can learn all you need to know about this stuff to make yourself a solid foundation and get your website traffic up. But here's where it is, okay? This is where the rubber meets the road. Everybody likes to start with paid, although I think paid should be the last thing you do. Here's why. When you buy an ad, okay, someone types in marketing, and I would buy Bowman Digital Media ads from Google or whoever. You can fill in the blank. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, I don't care. They're all pretty much the same, right? They're different in who's visiting those websites, so that's why you pick the different ones. Know your audience. We'll talk about that in a second, okay? But when you're trying to build your website audience, build website traffic, get more visitors, what you don't want to happen is you don't want people to come to your website and leave right away. That's called bouncing. A high bounce rate can hurt your score. People like that. I try to give analogies because it helps you remember. It helps me remember. I'm a visual guy, right? So hopefully you like that. I thought that was kind of funny, but it's true, right? So if it's older than 6 months, it's probably got some of it that's no longer accurate anymore. For example, I used to be really good. In fact, I'd say I was one of the best at the LinkedIn algorithm before they changed it to the AI. When the AIs took over, Microsoft owns LinkedIn, full disclosure. So when that took over, I had trouble because it was no longer a single uniform algorithm anymore. Everybody on LinkedIn has their own individual algorithm formula. And good luck cracking that. Over 700 million users, and you go try to figure them all out. Good night. It's not good. But I can tell you things that generally work, right? And so with these algorithms, a lot of times there are some universal truths that are mostly true. And so you follow the best practices, if you will, and that will help you in most cases. But you still have to do something called A/B testing. Yeah, low bounce rates, super important to your domain authority, right? So I'm actually going to bring up SEMrush a little bit later, unless you guys want to get to it now. But I'm going to bring up SEMrush in a little bit because I want to show you how your domain authority score is tabulated in these sections, right? Paid advertising is one of those, okay? So it is something that you want to at least be aware of. Paid search, however, without having a pre-established foundation reputation is dangerous. So if you're going to spend all your effort on paid search, CPC, cost per clicks, if that's what you're doing, you probably have a really high bounce rate. Most people don't know how to set up the ads right, and if you're going to do that, I would recommend 99.999% of all people and businesses would not do it themselves. They would hire somebody like me or better than me to manage your Google ads, to manage your advertising campaigns, because there's a lot of nuances in there. There's a lot of science, frankly, in it. And if this is not where you live, let's say you're a real estate agent or you build homes for living or whatever, you fill in the blank, what you do, you're an engineer, I don't care, right? Whatever you do, it's probably not data analytics and marketing. And if that's the case, you're probably not the right person to be managing your own Google campaigns. Even though Google tries to help you, you can spend so much money, you can waste so much money on that stuff and be frustrated and not get any results. And I can show you guys much better ways. We're going to be talking about that. Hello, Jenny Ed. Welcome to the show. Okay. So, paid ads, paid search, that's one way to generate website traffic. It's probably the most common method used, and it's the one that I would recommend the least. So do everything else first, then go to paid ads. Once you get everything else in place, that's my recommendation. Okay. Number 2, where can you get website traffic from? Website traffic can come from social media. Hello, social media. Why? Because people are there in the billions already. So if you can educate people, get people to know you and like you and trust you, and then go to your website, Yahtzee, lower bounce rates. Lower bounce rates. 100%. The reason why to do it. Because you already have an interest built up, an established rapport and trust factor that you don't get from paid ads. So that is huge. Another thing for website traffic, a lot of people forget about this, and I think it's the biggest, best kind. It probably will produce the lowest numbers, so if you're just looking for like gigantic numbers, this is probably the least, but these are the best ones, and that is from referral sources. So number 3 is from referrals. If you can get people to refer you business, word of mouth, those people already trust you. Significant. Yeah, social media. Social media is the number 1 source for good volume with low bounce rates. Okay? So write it down. You heard it here first, folks. Social media. That's why I spend so much time at Bowman Digital Media on social media for me and my clients, because it's not paid, other than my services, of course, right? But also in social selling, you can have high visibility, and it's like a siphon. You can take people from social media and drive them to your websites, whether you're doing it to landing pages or just your generic homepage, wherever you want to send them. You can do that in a variety of ways, okay? Now, number 3 was referrals. Number 4 is something that we're going to be talking about a little bit later today because it's in the article. We spent a lot of time on backlinks. So backlinks can be internal links, external links, do follow links, and no follow links. There's also a couple new categories that some people may not be familiar with, which is UGC, which is user-generated content, and also sponsored links. We'll talk about all of that stuff in a minute. But that's number 4, backlinks. So again, if you're trying to keep notes at home, number 1, paid ads. Number 2, social media. Number 3, referrals. Number 4, backlinks. What's number 5, y'all? Number 5 is emails. Okay, so, and in emails, I'm going to include current customers and prospects. So, anything that your sales team basically is sending out directly, electronically. I distinguish that because number 6 is going to be kind of the same thing, but not electronically, okay? So, number 5, you should get traffic coming in because of your emails, your outbound electronic communications. And this can include also your text messages, anything that's done electronically. So let's say electronic communications, just as a catch-all, okay? But you're sending out information to prospects and clients, vendors too, right? In your signature, you should have your website link, right? That's a backlink but it's not a backlink because it's not on a website, right? But it's a hyperlink that sends them from your email directly to your website. And if you guys don't have that set up in your signature, you need to stop everything, hit pause, set that up, and quit wasting your emails, because those are good bullets. I don't care if it's a cold email to somebody you've never met, or it's an email to somebody that you've been doing business with for a long time. Make it easy for them to get to your website. Why? Because you spend a lot of money and effort on your website, crafting that message, making sure the imagery is right, and all those things. You want them to go, even if they are already using you, because there might be... What's the best way to increase your business? The best way to increase your business is to get the people who are already doing business with you to do more business with you, because they already have an account, they already like you, they already trust you, all that stuff. What are your current customers not buying from you that they could be, right? Email them about that with the landing page to that thing. Okay, hopefully you guys get that. Now, the sixth thing, not as obvious, but it should be. I'm talking about direct mail, brochures, business cards. You're going to trade shows. You got your vehicle wrapped. You got your signage. This is all your marketing and sales collateral that is not electronic. This is your traditional marketing efforts, sales and marketing efforts, okay? So those are the 6 places where website traffic would come from. So let's review them one more time. In fact, if you guys will bear with me for a second, I'm going to type this up just so everybody has it. 6 sources of website traffic. Sorry, I don't type as fast as I speak, okay? So here we go. We're going to go... Oh, I accidentally hit the enter button. Okay, I can't do it that way. I was going to try to make it pretty. Okay, so 1, paid search. Ads. 2, social media. 3, referrals. If I misspell any of this stuff, I apologize. My spelling is not great. I have dyslexia, in full disclosure. Not that anybody really cares. Emails. No, sorry. I'm missing one. Ads, social medias, referrals, backlinks. Sorry. We'll come back to backlinks, because backlinks is one that'll confuse some of you. Okay. 5 is email and electronic communications that include a URL link in it. Okay, that's why it's different. Because like if you have traditional media, one of the things that you can do is you can add like a QR code where they can scan it, but for the most part, you've got to get them to go type out or pound out on a keyboard. So it's a little bit tricky there. Okay, and number 6 would be your traditional marketing and sales collateral. Okay, so let me pull this up so you guys can see it. Hello, Denrich, my friend. Hope you're having a great day. All right, so here we go. 6 sources of website traffic. Again, write this down. It's important. You guys really should be working on all 6 of these. This isn't in order of importance. Because actually, like I said, I would take paid search and move it to the bottom, except for a lot of people, that's all they're doing, right? And maybe the email campaign, okay? But they're not asking for referrals. They're not working on their social media. They have no idea what backlinks are, how to generate them. So this is where you're going to get it from, okay? These are the different methods. Now, how are you going to build your website traffic? In each one of those categories, there's a different strategy, okay? For example, one of my new clients, Olgin Effune Recycling, I'm meeting with one of the team members today. I'm going to help them set up their email signature because they don't have that set up. So I'm going to help them with that, okay, because they're my client. So get your email signature fixed right away. Make sure you have a picture of your logo. Make it clickable with a link to your website. super simple to do. If you have a GIF of the logo, I actually recommend doing that, and that's what I created for them, was a GIF so their logo actually builds itself. And why? Because it's like a Venus flytrap. It draws the attention into that logo, and that's what we want. We want them to click on it. And when they click on it, we don't want it to be a static image. We want it to hyperlink, is the word, over to their website. Okay. So again, if you guys have questions, I know I'm covering a lot fast, but I have an hour show. I want to make sure I get it. Okay. Let's get into the article again. Okay. So keywords. Keywords are super important because, like, when you're searching for a topic, I just had my team write another blog on homeschooling, the importance of homeschooling. And so I gave them keywords that I wanted them to infuse into the article. Why do we write blogs on websites? One of the main reasons we write blogs on websites is because we want to become an established authority on the topics around our products, services, whatever our website is about. And we want Google and Bing and DuckDuckSoup. We want them all. We want everybody, right? We want YouTube. We want them all to know that if they're looking to serve up content about a particular topic, this is where they can get it. Now, in websites on the back end, we have metadata and we have things like that, the slugs, and it helps us to tell people what our website is about, what our article is about. But inside the articles themselves, if you infuse those with keywords and you have a high incidence rate, or incident rate, however you say it, of these words, then also you don't want scrape data. Let me pull this back for a second. It's really important for you guys to understand that you don't want to take the same blog and share it anywhere, right? Like, no, you can't write one blog and use it in 6 places. Like, you can, but don't. Because if you do, you're going to shoot yourself in the foot. You don't want scrape data. You don't want anything that's been published somewhere else on your site. Now, you can always use quotes and hyperlink to articles. That's what I suggest that you do. Like, if you really like an article that somebody's written on a topic and you're writing a similar article on and you want to give them credit because there's not your competition, then you can hyperlink and say, hey, and that will not hurt you. In these blog articles, as a rule of thumb, I'm trying to do a couple external links and at least one internal link, because internal and external linking, which we're about to talk about, is important in your blogs, okay? It establishes credibility. So we actually want, like I said, on our blogs at Bowman Digital Media, we want people to link to our blog because that helps Google to understand, wow, this is a credible source. The more people I can get to backlink to any of my blogs or any of my pages on Bowman Digital Media or Project Help You Grow or irabowman.com, those are all my websites, I'm ecstatic. I'm happy. In fact, some people pay for blog writers to write blogs and post them on domain authority sites. Maybe it's a domain authority of a 30 or a 40 or 50 or whatever. And there's value to that because it's a quality backlink. And while we're talking about backlinks, let's just pull up backlinks because it's next in the article. One thing you do want to double check with backlinks is make sure that they're not toxic backlinks. So, like, for example, if it has anything that would be considered like pornographic or inappropriate content, or perhaps maybe spam, like it's all scraped data and it's spammy, you want to disassociate with that. And you can use tools like Moz and SEMrush to help disassociate those links. So another thing to keep in mind, okay? So what are backlinks, Ira? Backlinks are something that tend to confuse folks. But what a backlink is really is it's just the address of your website, and it could be to a specific page. Like, say, if I want people to go to the Contact Me page on Bowman Digital Media, instead of just bowmandigitalmedia.com, it would be bowmandigitalmedia.com/contact, and that would take you to the contact page of my website. So I don't have to have that visible. I could put like contact me here and then add a hyperlink in that, so go to the link and then insert the hyperlink there, which is a backlink. That would be considered, by the way, a follow link, because if you click on it, it will actually take you to my site, and it wasn't user-generated content. It wasn't sponsored content, and it actually works. Sometimes you'll see links in articles, but for whatever reason, the author has turned them off, so they won't actually, it won't go there. You could copy them manually and paste them, and then that would work. So there is still some value. I've read some, again, you just got to be careful what you what you read. I've read some people who have said, do not follow links are no good. They're of no value. And that's actually not true. They're good only in the fact that it does increase brand recognition, visibility, awareness. And that's important. Again, why? Because it helps to eliminate or reduce, at least, this thing called bounce. And the bounce rate, again, it's a bad thing. What bounce rates suggest one of two things. Three things. Your content's not relevant to what they were looking for. That's probably the strongest thing. Your website was really slow. That's another thing. That's actually, those are the two main things. I'm just going to leave it there, right? So it's usually when they click on it, they're like, this is not what I was looking for. I was looking for something about this, and your website's about that. Not interested. Or your website was just too slow. It didn't load fast enough, and they didn't have patience. You need your website to load up in 3 seconds or less. If you're gunning for a time, that's the time. I would say less is better. But, one of the things that I've done on all the websites that I build is I don't load native videos on these websites for the most part. There's actually a couple exceptions to that. Really small clips, like 2 or 3 seconds for some background, like B-roll type stuff. But for the most part, I load everything up on a host, so you could use Vimeo or YouTube. Those are the two most popular. You would use those video hosting services and then have people watch them on your site from that, right? The players and stuff will still play. But the reason why I do that is for site speeds. There's all these little tricks. Like, we don't want to use large files. We want to use, like, I create graphics for a living, but I set up small files, 72 dpi, really small files, like 30K, 70K, 100K files for the website. And then, for like traditional print and things like that, or for, things that we want to show on social media, we make much bigger files because we don't want pixelation. But you have the battle that, file size and speed makes a huge difference. So anyways, you don't want your website to be slow because that will increase your bounce rate. That's where I was going there. And again, squirrel, sorry, if you got a question for me, like I said, go ahead and ask. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep going through these. But no follow links, pretty simple. No follow links showcase the website address, but they don't lead to the website. They actually do lead to the website. It's just not clickable. And it's usually because the author of the website, the blog author, has turned that off. So they don't want to lose you. So they turn it off. UGC, here we go, user-generated content. This is relatively new. Sponsored links and UGCs, this is relatively new. I would say like 6 months to 8 months old, somewhere in there. It's a new type of link that used to just be really two sources. There was follow and no follow. So they added these. And so like if you go on to, there's a lot, man. There is a lot to cover, and there's no way I'm going to get through it all in an hour, but I'm doing my best. Okay, so here we go. So user-generated content you're going to find mostly in the comment sections of places like blogs or in YouTube links or even descriptions, right? And so for whatever reason, you don't get as much credit. They still work. If you click on them, it still takes you to that other website, that other place on the internet. Highly valuable, but not as valuable as if it's in the blog or on the native page of a website. Sponsored links, you see them all the time. In fact, most of us look past them, but you'll see them like in social media a lot of the times, or you'll see them on the sidebars of websites. And so those, because they're paid, get classified a little bit different. And again, the value score that you get for those links are a little bit lower. You also see them in something that I use a lot to generate domain authority for people in backlinks, which is the value of a press release, which we probably won't get into on this show. But press releases are now, the links inside them are now considered sponsored links, unless it's a featured story by the outlet, the news organization. Like I had a client, Dwellix, who was featured by CNBC in an article. That's not a sponsored link. That is considered a follow link because it was written in the original article, not as a side ad, and it isn't in a comment down below. It's in the feature itself. So those are things to keep in mind there. Partners tabs. Now, I like partners tabs. Let me show you one. There's all kinds of examples of partners tabs, but I try to do this on most of the sites that I build. The reason why partners tabs are so valuable is not that you expect, like, I run Project Help You Grow. It's a philanthropy site, helps job seekers find jobs for free all around the world, okay? No ads here. But I do have, these are some of my clients, or some of my friends. This is my wife. You know what I mean? Like, this is me. This is my LinkedIn bestie, Joe Stepke, who just recovered from COVID, by the way. Glad to have you back, my friend, okay? But these count as follow links. They're not sponsored because it's the main page. It's not over here on the side, right? Like you have an About Us page, and on the side there's links that you could click to take you to something that's completely irrelevant, some other site. Those are sponsored links. These partners tabs are follow links, okay? You do it right. So I could click on this one right here, and it would take you to Juliana Robbie. This one would take you to Glenn Ridge. Anyways, partners tabs, you don't have to have them here in the main list. As long as they're in the sitemap somewhere, it's part of the website, it's fine, but it helps. So partners tabs, if you guys run a website, especially for smaller companies where you get to control it, think about adding a partners tab, because the more you add other people to your website, the more likely they are to reciprocate, and that's kind of the idea behind the partners tabs. Okay, back to the article. Internal and external links. So internal links and external links are pretty easy to understand. I'm actually going to show you an example. I infused some links after Wahab sent me the article. I infused some hyperlinks. Like right here, this will take you to our contact page. So you just click on that. We're still on Bowman Digital Media. There's my family. A little outdated pictures. But here's the contact page, okay? That's an internal link because we went from the blog on Bowman Digital Media to the contact page on Bowman Digital Media. Now, let me scroll back because this will make this real clear. Now, an external link would take you to another website. And I did that actually here on purpose in the Partners tab. I could have just clicked here. I forgot I did this. So Project Help You Grow, if you click that, it'll take you to where we already were, right? But it's a different website, different URL, different site. That's an external link. So internal links and external links. So here is a tip for you. Again, I'm trying to help you guys practically now. On every blog you write, you can always hyperlink, if nowhere else, which would be an internal link, which you need. Again, my rule of thumb on every blog is at least 2 externals and at least 1 internal. Now, you could do more, and I recommend you do, but at least 2 externals and at least 1 internal. So to hit the internal link every single time without even have to think about it, you can actually have like a signature at the end of every blog that you would write that say, hey, if this was interesting and you want to reach out to us. So for me, it's going to be this. Want help improving your SEO? Contact Bowman Digital Media to discuss how we can help. And if you click on that right there, it takes you to my contact page, right? So they can set an appointment. And also, like, I have my pricing on my website. So I was thinking about maybe doing that too. I have a portfolio, I have photographs, there's the About section. So like sometimes, if I'm writing a blog about testimonials, I'll send people to the testimonials. Because then you don't have to take my word for it. This is a very good thing to do. Again, you could do this in lieu of a partners tab if you want. So I have some of my clients that, have used Bowman Digital Media, and these are the things that they said about Bowman Digital Media. And then as a favor, what I did is I hyperlinked external links to their LinkedIn profiles so that, if somebody wanted to ask them a follow-up question, and I could put, this is Carol. I could say the quote in Carol and not show you who she is, but then how believable is that? You know what makes this so believable is because you can reach right to her. Here, look, here she is. You can reach right to her, external link, and ask her a question about me if you need a reference. That's why I did it. But Carol was more likely to give me a recommendation because I'm giving her an external link to her LinkedIn profile to help her generate more traffic there, right? She's a business owner. She needs more traffic. So there's a lot of win-win in link building. But link building is so important. Again, I'm going to pull this up, so bear with me for just a second. The reason why link building is so important, if you put in a website, like I'm just going to put in Bowman Digital Media real quick. Oh, sorry, I'm not sharing my screen. So if you go to SEMrush, this is my favorite tool to use, and you put in a website address, you can actually do this for free. You can do 10 searches a day. For most of you, that's more than enough, okay? So then you come to the domain overview, and then this is going to tell you some really important things, okay? Your authority score here, this is based out of a 100. So the best website in the world is usually Google, and they have somewhere between a 97 and a 99. I've never actually seen a 100. Okay, I don't know if anybody has one. If they do and you know about them, let me know in the comments because that will be very helpful for me. But if we type in Google, in fact, let me just do it real quick. It's kind of fun. Okay, so go google.com. Yeah, right now they're 98. Okay, I've seen them at 99. I've never seen them at 100. I don't know if anybody can beat Google, but here you go. But look, the number of backlinks. Why do we spend so much time on backlinks? Backlink building is super important because it's one of the 5 factors here that are rated for your domain authority. Your authority score, your domain authority, interchangeable expressions means exactly the same thing. Okay? Organic search traffic is huge because that says, without me spending any money, this is how many people are interested naturally in coming to my website. And that helps establish your authority. Huge. Paid search traffic. Look, why does Google pay for search traffic? They don't need to, in one sense, because everybody knows who Google is. But the fact of mine is, this is a top of mind world, and it's part of the equation for your domain authority score. So that's why even Google, the king of the hill, best authority score that I know of. More traffic, 4.5 billion users. They're not hurting for traffic, okay? My score, we'll go back to that in a second if you want to see, something competitively really bad, right? Okay? They have 85.3 billion backlinks. What does that mean? That means that there are 85.3 billion hyperlinks out there on other websites, every other website, frankly, that point back to Google, okay? It actually also includes their own internal links too, by the way. This is internal and external, okay? And then display advertising. So they actually pay to have, their ads on the sides of websites and in searches too, which again, you would think maybe, why is that important? Well, again, it's important to your domain authority. That's the reason to know it. But here's something I want to show you. Again, even in the free version, you can come top organic keywords and you can start to see, okay, what are people searching for and how much traffic is that sending to my site? If you go to smaller sites, usually what you're going to find is 100% of their volume is coming from the name of their business. And that's where their traffic comes from, right? So someone searches for Bowman Digital Media, or they search for Ira Bowman, or they search for something along those lines, And that's what drives them to my website or to your website, okay? What you really want to do is build up your keyword authority on the topics around what your website is trying to help. So in my case, marketing and photography and videography and graphic design and search engine optimization. And that's why we write articles on these topics, because we want to catch Google's attention and say, hey, we're not just Bowman Digital Media. We want you to show people us for this. And so another thing that we didn't talk about, but I do want to talk about this. There's this term called geofencing. And it didn't dawn on me for a long time that people didn't understand what geofencing is. But geofencing is important. So, for example, one of my clients is an auto parts dealer. In fact, I got Wahab working on an article right now for these guys. They're brand new to my business, okay? They're in Shelbyville, Indiana. Now, Shelbyville, Indiana is not the world's largest city. It's kind of close to Indianapolis. It's a little bit to the east, heading towards Ohio, okay? Shelbyville's a great place. I've been there. Now, their business basically will do business with people. Their clients usually will come about 40 miles. Within a 40-mile radius. You might get outliers come further. But what we're trying to do right now is help build not only their keywords for what they do, but where they do it. And that's called geofencing. So if someone goes, auto parts in Shelbyville, we want Shelbyville Auto Parts to be like the #1 search result. And the more we put Shelbyville and the communities around it, so you're talking county, cities, anything like that, infuse those into the articles, and that will certainly help. So it's tricky to do it because you got to do it naturally. And so, this is where, having good blog writers on your staff helps. Or again, hire it out. Like, I will tell you this. If you want to increase your website traffic, you probably just need to go ahead and hire someone like Bowman Digital Media to help. Why? Because this is what we do full time. And it's not just, like one person on my team. There's 10 of us now. We all work together. Graphic design, photography, videos, blogs, website development, social media posting and engagement. All of that comes together to help you raise your website traffic, like we talked about. And then, of course, what else do you need? You need those referrals. You need the email, electronic, and you need your traditional collateral to go out. Well, when you hire someone like Bowman Digital Media, and we're working on the imagery for you, when we help you create the imagery that you would use for those final 2 pieces with your email and your traditional campaigns. And that's frankly where I cut my teeth, by the way. In all this, I come from the print industry. Everything I know about sales and marketing, pretty much I learned in 20 years of working outside sales in the print business. So there you go. We're getting tight on time. I want to make sure if you're in the audience, and we have 6 people on LinkedIn right now. I don't know how many people we have on YouTube and Facebook, but anyways, if you're watching right now, I want to know, what is the most pressing thing on your mind, right? Like, what are you struggling with the most? Is it your content? Is it, how to manage your Google ads? Are you don't know how to get people to pay attention to your business on LinkedIn or on Instagram? Because look, we didn't talk about this, and we probably should. If you have a question, ask me your question, okay? I want to make sure that I address your question. But I want to talk about something foundational in marketing. A lot of people miss this point. Hello, Max. Welcome. Welcome to the show. Nice to have you here. One of the things that people make a mistake with right out of the gate, I see this a lot. They know everything about their business except for the most important part, who they help. You need to stop. Look, this is going to hurt some of your feelings. But people don't give a crap about you and your business. They want to know how you help them. They want to know, I have a problem of... Hello, Chella. Hello, Max. Nice to meet you guys. Okay, so Chella's my friend. I don't know Max. They want to know how you help first. So they have a problem. They're looking for somebody who can solve it. If you can solve their problem, now all of a sudden they will care about who you are and your company and all that stuff. But if you're leading with, we were established in 1986 and we've got 100 years of experience and, we're the cheapest place in town and blah, 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 you're spitting against the wind. You really are. This is the number one most critical mistake I see people make. My friend Allison DeFord, she runs a company out of Southern California called DeFelt Marketing. She's really, really smart. Her and my friend Curtis Anderson, who's a fellow believer. I mean, he's on it. This guy's awesome, right? So between Curtis and Allison, someone said this thing called the wee-wees. Quit doing the wee-wee all over your pages. And I just thought it was hilarious because it's so true. Like, get over yourself and get to the point of how you help people. Make sure that call to action on your website is super clean and super clear. I'm going to give you an example, okay? Because again, I like to show people things, not because I want to brag or anything, but because I want to make sure that you guys understand how this really works, how to make it super simple, effective. What does Bowman Digital Media do? We're helping people build their website, their digital audience. That's what we're really doing. But how do we do it? You hire us to manage your social media so you can focus on your business. See how clean and clear that is? It's a statement. Hire us to manage your social media so you can focus on your business, because this is not what you're good at. This is not what you do. You do something else. But you're trying and you're spinning your wheels and you're wasting a lot of time. You're wasting a lot of resources. You're frustrated. You're not getting good results. And what's the opportunity cost there? You're burnt out. You don't have free time. You got too many things, too many irons in the fire. Simplify it a little bit. It is okay to source things. Most people are not sourcing things enough. But anyways, this is the part. I'm not telling you how much experience I have, how many followers I'm going to get you. I'm not making any clean, like bold statements about, how wonderful we're better than everybody else because blah, 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 blah. This is the mistake most people make. They tell you how beautiful they are, how much experience they have, how wonderful they are. And your visitors do not care until they know you. Once they know you, then of course they will care. But you got to tell them what problem you fix. And you got to tell them quickly. Otherwise, forget it. So what do I follow that up with? Hire us to manage your social media so you can focus on your business. We'll help you build your sales funnel with great marketing. Hire us to manage your business social media efforts, create graphics, take photos, create videos, build your website, run your SEO, or all of the above. I'm telling them exactly the services we offer very succinctly. And then you come down a little bit further. Book your free consultation. Again, they don't have to read everything. You want to book right here. And here in a visual form now, what we do: social media management, website development, graphic design, photography, videography, and SEO. Why do I do that? Because they're here to get help with one of those things, or they're in the wrong place. Right? I didn't explain to them all the different things we do and how we do it and how much we can help them. And no, that's further down in the website. That's not even really on the homepage. Then the other question I get all the time, because people want to know, can I afford it? How much does it cost? Click here for pricing. Yeah, I share all my pricing online. Crazy, I know. Now I start to talk, as they go below the fold, a little bit more about who we are and what we do. Some videos, right? Some visuals. Then here I make it simple. I break out even a little bit more detail on what the 6 services we provide. Keep going down. Again, to add credibility, because people don't care what I say about myself. People lie all the time. They misrepresent themselves. So here I have actual clients who are telling you what they experience. And by the way, this is Kurt Anderson, the one I was talking about earlier, right there. Okay? And he said, thanks so much, Ira Bowman. It's awesome working with you and these exciting projects. Bowman Digital Media delivers amazing results, graphics, press releases, social media management, and then some emojis. I didn't say that. That's what my client and my friend Curtis said. You can't win until you market your business. Yeah, but you got to market it smart, okay? So again, when you're setting up your website, the thing that a lot of the reason why people miss is because they're focusing on the wrong things. They think it's like, I got to show the world how great I am, and I got to make everything look beautiful, and tell you about my founder, and tell you about my board, and tell you how much we sold last year, and tell you how we crush our competition, and all that stuff. You don't need any of that stuff. Now, it could go in your About Us page if you want, but you don't need that. What you really need is to tell people how you solve their problems and have a clear and simple call to action. That's what you really need. Okay? So, you want to fix website traffic. Make sure they don't bounce. They're going to bounce on you if you're only getting website traffic from paid ads. I'm going into like summary mode now. All the learning is done. The teaching is done. Now we're just going to summarize what we talked about. And if you're joining us late and any of this sounds interesting, just rewind the tape and you can learn about all this stuff. Okay? So paid ads are good, but they shouldn't be your primary or your only source of website traffic because A, it's expensive, and B, you're going to have a huge bounce rate, and that's not going to help your domain authority. You want website traffic. One of the things that they actually look at in the domain authority is how many visitors come, how many repeat visitors come, and how long they stay. How many sessions did they have? That's the stuff that they're looking at. If you go inside that SEM report and look at it, that's the kind of stuff that you're going to see. Your average viewer was there for, 30 seconds or 90 seconds or 9 minutes. That makes a difference. How many pages did they look at? Right? That makes a difference. Did they come back? Are you getting 25% repeat business or more? That's a good thing. You want repeat business, but you also want volume. So this is why I recommend people spend most of their concentrating efforts on social media, referrals, email campaigns, building backlinks, and traditional marketing efforts over paid ads. Do it organically because those people typically are going to have a better idea of who you are. They're going to like you. That's why they're going to your website. They're going to get to trust you more once they consume your data. But if they go from not knowing who you are, click on your website, it takes 4.5 seconds for your website to load, and they see stuff about your founder, which they don't give a rip about, on the top of the fold, you've lost them. Bounce. That's what's going to happen. Okay? So, if you are struggling with this, my plans start at $500 a month. That's what my plans start at. So, you don't have to spend tens of thousands of dollars a year. $500 a month times 12 months, that's $6,000 a year for a business to increase all that stuff. The plans, we work on all of it. If you're curious, check out my website, bowmandigitalmedia.com. Go to the menu page and you can see the pricing, you can see what we serve up, and you can see what you get in the different plans, or we have an a la carte menu down below. But the fact is, you don't have to spend tens of thousands of dollars to improve this without wasting your time, right? Build it foundationally solid. But if you want a consultation on like your website or what you're doing on social media and stuff like that, I'm available for consultations. Those consultations are free, so that will help you out. Okay. Any questions before we go? We got one more minute. I want to thank those of you who are in the audience who are engaged. Again, if you're interested, what are the six sources of website traffic? Paid ads, my brain, paid ads, social media, backlinks, your emails, your traditional print, and referrals. So maybe the final point is on that referrals. Referral sources are usually pretty easy to come by, but most people aren't asking for them. So reach out to clients that you've had in the past or your friends and say, hey, if they know who you are, they know what you do, they don't need your service, odds are they know somebody who might. So ask them, hey, would you mind, sending a few leads my way? Make some introductions for me. Another thing that people are not doing well with the social media is they're simply not engaging. So we're going into overtime here, just a little bit of bonus time because I want to talk about this. It's super important. You can engage on social media in a completely different way and get much better results. I put a post up the other day of one of my strategies. Look, I have hundreds of thousands of followers on social media, not just LinkedIn. I've got 50,000 on Instagram, 10,000 on YouTube, 5,000 on Pinterest. I mean, I've got plenty of social media following on all the platforms, frankly. One of the ways that I build them up and make friends and get these numbers that I get is because I don't simply read a post and keep going. Somebody was like, Ira, I don't have time to comment on all the posts that I read in a day. And I said, why? Why don't you? And they go, well, I read too many. I said, no, think about that for a second. It's not like you're obligated to read 100 posts a day or 1,000 posts a day or 15 posts a day or however many you read. You can read less. So you have the same amount of time to read and comment. Some days you might only read 3 and engage with 3, but you'll get more out of it. Why? A couple of reasons. A, the person that you engaged with, their post, they're now your fan because you were helping them out. But also, if you're only making posts and then reading other people's posts, but you're not commenting on the posts, you're missing a lot of the sideline eyes that will see it. Because most people, when they read a post, they'll peruse the comments too, especially if it's a topic they're interested in, like how to build your website traffic. I guarantee you, the people who have made comments today in the show are going to get seen by a lot of people because my shows get seen by a lot of people. You understand what I'm saying? So there are people that will read the comments that you wrote today that might not have seen you any other way on social media. And now you have the chance of engaging with them and connecting with them if they comment on your comment. So in the comments, another tip, not only make a comment, but ask a question when you comment and try to make it an open-ended question. So there's 3 tips, power tips. Boom, boom, boom. Don't read a post without making a comment. When you make that comment, make sure you ask an open-ended question. And engage. Posts are just conversation starters, okay? That is a huge... Here's one of my team members right here. Payoff! She's one of my team members. Love her to death. We're working on a project that just doesn't seem like it ever wants to end. But I've got something else coming up for you guys, Pal, if you're still on. So yeah, look, these videos, they're intended to help you out. Okay, this one is about SEO, but anyways, here's the thing: social media can drive more traffic to your website than really anything else if you learn to do it correctly. The reason why most of you struggle with it is because you're not doing it right. You're following what every other person's doing, and they're not doing it right either. Don't be blind following a blind man. Remember what I said back at the beginning of the show? You can read all kinds of stuff on the internet, and a lot of it is not accurate. So don't just blindly take what everybody else says and does as the gospel truth. What I want you to do is look and see, do they actually do this thing well? Can I independently validate that this person knows what they're doing in this topic? I challenge you to look at all the companies that I manage on social media and see the tens of thousands of views that I get every one of them on a daily basis. This isn't something that I do like, I went viral one time back in 2018, which I did, by the way. But I had a post get seen by over 1 million people, which is pretty cool, okay? But I do it for businesses day in and day out. I made some even today on social media that are up over 10,000 views in just an hour or two. So how do I do that? I do that because I don't just make a post and then, wait for all my fans to come see it. I engage with people on a daily basis, not just on my posts, on their posts, and on other people's posts. Find a few people that have large networks and comment on their posts on a regular basis, but don't stop there, right? Don't just do go to Gary Vee. Gary Vee's one that I like. Simon Sinek, another one I really like, right? Don't just go to a few of those. Tim Tebow, another one I really like, right? Don't just go to their posts and be sycophants. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is their comment section probably has more people commenting on their posts than you'll get views on your post. So you can increase your visibility by commenting on other people's posts. But have some of your friends that you visit on a regular basis. I've talked about this in a different show. So go back and find that episode or read the blog that I wrote about it, right? Bookmark your favorites. Okay? But engage. Because social media, there are people there by the billions. So if you identify who you help, your target audience, then what you want to do is figure out what social media platforms are those people in. Like business to consumer is not so much a LinkedIn hangout. That's more like an Instagram, a Facebook, a TikTok, Twitter, okay? If you're going business to business, obviously LinkedIn is king, but also don't forget YouTube. So figure out where your audience is, not what your preference for producing is, because that's the mistake, again, people make. I say, why aren't you on, I talk to people in consultations, why aren't you on Facebook? You have a large potential audience on Facebook. And they go, I hate Facebook. I don't want to be on Facebook. I don't care. You're running a business. This isn't your break. This isn't your day off. You do what you want to do in your personal time on your personal time. But your business needs to hang out where your clients live. So there's the final tip of the day, right? Put it all together. String it all together. You will increase website traffic dramatically. Your search engine optimization, as you improve it, will help along with all that. So again, if you're late to the party, welcome. We're happy to have you. Go to my blog, written by my newest team member. Come here. Common SEO terms that all beginners must know. Read this thing. It will help give you a baseline on how to improve your company's SEO. Now, if you want to read the other one about, where does website traffic come from, it's actually one, I think it was the first blog I put up here. So let me move this. If you come all the way down and go to my archives, go to November 2020, I think it's right here. Yeah. 4 key ingredients of website traffic. I don't talk about emails and marketing collateral in this one, I don't think. But anyways, read this article. It's the very first one I put up on bowmandigitalmedia.com. Okay? And as you can see from my blog, I have a ton of data on here. How to make graphics, how to build videos. I mean, the sky's the limit. Raise your social media visibility. That's really what I was just talking about. Marketing Mondays, this one we're talking about photography. The lens settings in Lightroom. Graphic design lessons. I have a bunch of guest hosts on my show. I have interviews with industry experts. There's all kinds of stuff. Improving your email marketing campaign. This is a good one here, right? So read these blogs. If you're not a reader, you're like, I'd rather watch. Okay, here's the episodes. Marketing Mondays. Come here, watch the shows. There they are. Okay, watch these shows. I'll help you. And then I have the i3 conversations. This is industry interviews by Ira. There's episodes there. So you can learn a ton for free. You don't have to have an account. There is no way to even create an account, frankly. You can learn a ton for free. Like I said, Bowman Digital Media as just a resource, that's all you need to know on how to do a lot of this stuff. By the time you read and consume all that information and start applying it, your head will spin, your results will go up. Otherwise, I will go out of business. Okay? And my business is booming, so that's good. Thank you very much for joining. I will be back next Monday. I don't have a topic yet for next Monday's show. So if you have a marketing question, digital marketing, traditional marketing, on the fringe, I don't care. Send me a message, put it in the comments, and let me know what you'd like to see for future episodes. And I will pick one that I think is the most interesting, and we will go from there. In the meantime, I hope you all have a wonderful day. And don't forget to engage on social media. It really is the #1 way that you can make a positive impact for everything and get more website traffic. Have a great day, everybody.